everyone. Uh, I've been going over Facebook and YouTube, like I do. And one of the things I've been seeing during the COVID-19 shutdown of 2020 is, of course, the classic conservatives versus progressives. Big general term. Conservative, someone who wants to conserve, be like the old days. And progressives, who want to change and adapt. I'm a progressive. I think we've been doing the same ineffective bullshit for too many hundreds of years without looking at the reasons why. And I think we've largely been manipulated not to look at those things by the oligarchs that want to conserve, because they're conservatives, the oligarchs, the uber wealthy, the worst of us, the actual parasites, are conservatives. They don't want change because they got their money by doing things the way we've always done it. So there's a lot, and this is just one of the memes that's been going around. It's not the government's job to protect my health. It's the government's job to protect my rights. It's my job to protect my health. When you trade liberty for safety, you end up losing both. The government's job is to protect and serve we the people. I used to be a staunch constitutionalist back when I think they knew what they were doing. When I was a child, and I thought the grown-ups knew what they were doing. As I've gotten older, I understand more and more they do not. And to hold on to that idea that the government should be one way that I think it should be, or that conservatives think it should be, or that people will tell me they think it should be, versus the way it is. And the way it is right now, the reason I'm making this video, because I understand that point of view. I understand that you want the government to protect your rights, and right now a lot of people feel like the government's taking away your rights because they want you to stay at home, and they're telling certain businesses, my business in particular, massage therapy, that I can't open, that I can't do business. So somehow they equate that to taking away my right to do business. And that's a whole argument. Maybe it is taking away my right to do business. But I also have an obligation as a citizen to not endanger the people around me. Just as I have an obligation to know how to take care of and store a gun safely. Just as I have an obligation to know how to drive a vehicle at great speeds and don't get intoxicated for the safety of others. If I was the only person on the planet, I could drink and drive. It wouldn't matter. I'm just endangering myself. Problem is, you live in a world and a country where you're not the only one in it. So when you go in public, you aren't the public. The public is everyone but you. Right? So you have an obligation to protect others' rights. So this gets, and the whole thing, this is going to be rambling because I haven't talked about anything for a while. I'm tired of drinking and tired of smoking weed, and I got to take a break from video games. And stuff's percolating, so I'm going to talk about it. But rights are, I don't know if you know this, it's a secret. I'll tell you. They're made the fuck up. We made them up. Without people, there are no rights. If you were taken to another planet and plopped down in the middle of the planet, guess how many rights you would have? 0. You would have maybe the option of protecting your life and living, but you have 0 rights. So rights are made up. They're all fictional. I think they're a good made-up thing, but without society, society decides, culture decides what your rights are. So I know there's going to be a large group of people, nobody subscribed to me, that will say God gave us those rights. In general, I don't concern myself with what your invisible sky wizard, or what you claim your invisible sky wizard has done. What I can see is what we have written down in a constitution as rights, and we chose those rights. We made them up, and they change. Women, I know I have a couple women out there, probably enjoy their right to vote now, their right to work, their right to wear pants, which they didn't always have, their right to ride a horse like a man. These are rights that women now have, and the rights that they didn't have before, those were made up too. So it's all flexible. So when, like in this meme, it's written purposefully to make a split. To most memes are made to generate an emotional response, usually conflicting. So you're an adversary against one or the other. But it's the government's job to protect my rights. Sort of. I mean, we the people elected representatives to make up our rights and decide what rights we the people decide we want to have. And then within those rights, the laws that we make that outline our rights, it is the government's job to enforce those for the people. When you say it's not the government's job to protect my health, but it's the government's job to protect your rights, you're saying conflicting things there. Do you not have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Is not health part of your right to life? Now, just because I think it is the government's job, because we tell the government what to do, it is the government's job to protect our health, to look out for our health. But that doesn't negate your personal responsibility for your health. Both can be true. This one is purposefully conflicting. But the truth of it is the government's job to protect your health, to work to protect our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And it's also your personal responsibility to take care of your health and to manage your health. I should back up. My issue with this meme, or this idea that it's not the government's job to do something, it's your responsibility to deal with your health. These memes don't exist really in the conservative mindset when the government decides to give our tax money to private corporations. So when the government says, wear your mask, we're going to give you $1,200 to stay home, so they're paying you to stay home and try and protect the health of others. That's terrible, and that's tyranny, and that's taking your rights away. But when the government takes our tax money and gives it to corporations for free, conservatives on Facebook, actually everywhere, are screaming about Bernie. Oh, he just wants to give us free money. He just wants to give people free stuff. Here's your free cell phone. Here's your free money. You don't have to work. Everything is free, right? In a sarcastic tone. And at the same time, they say fuck all when the government gives trillions of dollars to banks and private corporations. Free money. And not only is that money free to banks and corporations, those banks then charge us to borrow our money that the government gave them for free. Not a peep out of conservatives when the government steps on our rights to our money. Not a peep when the banks then charge us to loan us our money in an emergency. But when someone like Bernie Sanders says we should have health care covered, Medicare for all, using the tax money that we pay in, suddenly they scream, oh, we can't just give people free stuff. So I see these memes from conservatives, and I have a lot of conservative friends, and I know their frustration. I understand their frustration. But this kind of thing, if you're going to say it publicly, I'm going to comment on it publicly, and here it is. It's disingenuous. They're looking only at what they see as an individual citizen or some individual citizens getting something they don't think they deserve or worked for, and yet turn a blind eye to banks and corporations getting trillions that they absolutely didn't work for or earn under the guise of helping citizens, which is all lies. I don't know if I had much of a point other than that. I just wish with the whole dichotomy, the fake dichotomy of conservatives and progressives, and your rights and what government's job is. I wish the outrage was equal when they were actually being robbed blind, instead of just where they perceive someone getting something they don't think they deserve. And that's why I drink and smoke a lot of weed. Stay safe, everyone.